Good evening everyone, my name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. It premieres on a daily basis from Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. So do watch it. Because the Daily Current Affairs is a beautiful way to understand the current affairs from the perspective of not only pre but mains examination as well. Do not worry about notes because I provide it through my Telegram channel, that is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any queries regarding this examination, talk to me on my Instagram, follow me on Threads. So these are the various events that we have to cover today. Last time I asked a question about UAPA. Let's see how many of you have answered it correctly. Solve it together. With respect to Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967, consider the following statements. An investigating officer is required to obtain prior approval of the DGP if they want to seize any property that is related to terrorism. The government is empowered to list any individual as a terrorist according to the act. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? See, there are certain provisions under this act which are highly criticized. One such is section 35. Remember, section 35 of the UAPA. Because 35, why am I telling you? Because UPSC can ask us about specific sections if they are too much in the news. According to it, the government is all empowered to list any individual or an organization as a terrorist. And terrorism is such a open-ended term. There is no definition of it at the international level as well. So we do not know who is a terrorist, who is not a terrorist. Somebody is terrorist is somebody else is revolutionary. But from Indian perspective, anybody who is undermining the territorial integrity or sovereignty of India, that means if they are calling for a separate state such as Khalistan, this is of course a terrorist activity. This is a terrorist you can say act, because we are inciting for secession. We are asking for different state or a nation from the already existing country. So this is one of it. And an investigating officer, yes, he or she should obtain prior approval if they are going to seize any property that is related to terrorism. And this approval will be by whom? Director General of Police. Sometimes UPSC can mix around words. Approval can be changed to consultation. DGP can be sub-inspector. So you have to keep in mind that these kind of keywords should be there. Alright. First is correct, second is also correct. Both 1 and 2 will be the correct answer. UAPA cases have been launched against NewsClick for plot to disrupt sovereignty of India. This is in relation to allegations that they were receiving funding from China. So I've already told you about this. This is an anti-terror law. The highest level of penalties could be life imprisonment and death penalty as well. The government, central government is all empowered to declare any person or organization as a terrorist or terrorist organization if they are committing or participating in terrorist activities, preparing for it, promoting it, or involved in it. Now, terrorism, as I told you, is very open-ended. Who decides it? And something which is open-ended is very prone to abuse. Moving on. Consider the following statements. Abkhazia is a breakaway region of Georgia and it shares a border with the Black Sea. India recognizes Taiwan and Abkhazia as sovereign country. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? Recently what has happened? That Ukraine is almost winning the battle of the Black Sea. That means the battle of the Black Sea is going on here. There are certain fleet, the Black Sea fleet of Russia that was situated in Sevastopol and many other ports. So what is Ukraine doing? It is continuously bombarding these Black Sea fleet ships with the help of drones and long-range cruise missiles. So what is Russia doing? Russia is now moving the fleet from these areas to other areas. And now it has also signed a pact with Abkhazia, which is a breakaway region of Georgia, and it shares a border with the Black Sea. Abkhazia broke away properly in 2008 along with South Ossetia. And what will happen? That these breakaway regions, as they are recognized by Russia, they are saying that we also want to be safe from Ukraine. Please get a naval base over here. So Abkhazia is being also involved in the war almost now. So first statement is correct. It shares a border with the Black Sea. It's a breakaway state of Georgia. India does not surprisingly recognize Taiwan or Abkhazia. Abkhazia is okay. Many people may think that India does recognize Taiwan as a separate country. No, no, no. We are not like that. Because we are more neutral in stance. If there is a problem between 2 or 3 countries, sit together and decide. Not unilateral in nature. It's not our thing. So first is correct. Second is not correct. One only will be the correct answer. P2I batches have been launched from 10th of October. English and Hindi. Apart from GS, many other things will also be covered here. Make sure you take admission because it is going to help you a lot. There are 3 batches, silver, gold and platinum. The range is different, as in silver is for 18 months, gold is for the validity for it 30, platinum is 42. That is it. Nothing else is different. And also StudyIQ campus program is there. Whenever you are going to appear for UPSC prelims examination, the designated prelims examination, if you qualify the prelims, you will be called to the StudyIQ campus to prepare with us for the mains examination free of any added charges. So make sure you take admission. Use the code PDLive. This is an evening batch to get a discount. Silver is 23,999, gold 26,999, platinum for 42 months 29,999. Moving on to the next part, consider the following: Desmond Tutu, Lee Tecto, Willy Brandt, Barack Obama. How many of the above icons have won the Nobel Peace Prize? All the four have won the Nobel Peace Prize. We'll go through them one by one. All four will be the correct answer. Recently, today itself, an Iranian woman activist by the name of Nargez Mohammadi, she has won the Nobel Peace Prize. She is at least the fourth person who is behind the bars when the announcement was done. And she is the second Iranian woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize after Shirin Ebadi. She is a human rights lawyer. She received this prize in 2003. They both have been friends and they were working in the Defenders of Human Rights Center that was founded by Miss Ebadi in 2001, but in a violent raid it was closed down in 2009. Okay, and her career as an activist spans across 30 years. She has not seen her children in the last 8 years, twin children, and the husband, the children, they are living in exile in France at such a huge cost. She has worked so, passionately for the women of Iran. Of course, this is a tribute to Mahsa Amini. So, from 1901 to 2022, Peace Prize has been awarded 103 times to 140 people. Now it is, of course, 104 times to 141 people. If we take into account this current year as well, the winner is ultimately chosen by 5% Norwegian Nobel Committee, which is nominated by the Norway's parliament itself. Moving on, Willy Brandt. Willy Brandt is a very important person. He proposed the Brandt line only, which divided the world into the developed region and the underdeveloped, the global north and the global south. That is why it is important for us to know. In 1971, he won it for paving the way to a meaningful dialogue between East and the West. When we talk about 1970, Norman E. Borlaug also won it. It is important for us to know because M.S. Swaminathan recently passed away, and with the help of Norman Borlaug, we could usher into the Green Revolution in India. Moving on, Henry A. Kissinger and Lee Tecto. Lee Tecto has also won it. But he declined this award because of the situation in Vietnam. It was declining. That is why he did not accept it. So, Barack Obama, the most controversial person to ever win the Nobel Peace Prize, he has also won it. Consider the following statements. An accommodative stance means the central bank is prepared to expand the money supply to boost economic growth. The RBI increases the repo rate if it wants to keep an accommodative stance. So we have to choose the correct answer using these codes. What is the repo rate? First, we have to know about it. This is a conceptual question, totally through and through conceptual. Repo rate is the rate at which the central bank will give loan to the commercial bank in exchange of government securities, so that it can say, RBI can say, when the time comes, you have to repurchase the government security that you are giving to me. Okay, so when the banks, the central bank is giving loan to the banks, why is it doing so? So that the banks can give it to the customers. All right. So when the loan is available at a little interest rate, the banks will feel more free to go to the central bank and get more and more loans. Understood? And then they will give it to the customers at even lower loans, maybe. So the even lower interest rate, so that they can get more profit. But then the banks do not want, that when the central banks doesn't want, not even in India, I am talking about every country's central bank, when they want that there should not be a lot of money in circulation, we are going to increase the repo rate. Why? Because then the commercial bank will not go to the central bank for loan because they have to pay the interest rate more. So of course, there will be a reduction in repo rate when the central bank will want that there should be more liquidity in the market. So RBI will decrease the repo rate if it wants to keep accommodative stance, because accommodative stance means more money supply. First is correct, second is incorrect. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct. Repo rate has been unchanged for the 4th time in a row in a bi-monthly policy announcement that was done by the Monetary Policy Committee. And stance is there of withdrawal of accommodation. That means it is accommodative right now, but when the time comes, because there is a lot of inflation in the market right now, people need to lessen the amount of money that they have in their hands. This can be done with the help of monetary policy tool, that is repo rate. When the central bank will increase the repo rate, there will be less number of money, there will be less amount of money to be given to the commercial banks, and thereafter lesser amount of money for the consumers. So it will definitely increase in the future. Standing deposit facility rate is 6.25%. These all have been taught. I have recently covered this, do watch it. Okay. Section 45ZB of the amended RBI Act 1934 that was done in 2016 says the central government is empowered to formulate a 6-member committee that will determine the policy rate required to achieve inflation target, which is 4% plus minus 2. That means either between 2 to 6%. This is the range. Right now, retail inflation is higher than 6%. We need to come down as well. Now, Section 45ZB says that it should be a 6-member committee. RBI governor will be the ex officio chairperson. Deputy governor in charge of the monetary policy will be a person in here. An officer of the bank to be nominated by the central board, and there will be 3 people who will be appointed by the central government. Remember that. Moving on. Recently, Professor Dr. Dwivedi Gupta receives Spinoza Prize in field of climate change. It is highest distinction in Russian sciences, Italian sciences, Dutch sciences, French sciences. The correct answer is option C, Dutch sciences. She is an Indian origin professor, Dr. Dwivedi Gupta. She has received Spinoza Prize. It's the highest distinction in Dutch sciences for her work in the field of climate change. And this prize is worth 1.5 million euros. She says that she is going to invest it into the entire research process. Revered as the munificent light of divine grace by his followers, he was born in the Marudur village near Chittambaram on evening of October 5th, 1823. He is believed to have recited Deva Mani Malai. The poet mystic also wrote more than 5,800 verses of poetry. He formed a spiritual society of his followers and launched a feeding center known as Dharmasalai to feed the hungry. So who among the following is being referred to? We are referring to a very important person, Sri Ramalinga Swamy. We celebrated his 200th birth anniversary yesterday. The center committed to Valalar's idea of feeding the hungry. Prime Minister Modi said that Valalar's birth anniversary is Benevolence Day. It was told by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin in 2021. Okay, remember that. So Valalar, he was born in specifically Kaddalur district, if we have to put the district in our mind. Almost 150 years ago, on January 30th, 1874, he disappeared. That means he did not die. A divine light rose from his body. He was revered as Arut Prakasa Valalar, or the munificent light of the divine grace. He was committed to the well-being of the poor, and that is why he also established an organization to feed the hungry. We are going to move that forward with help of many schemes. Okay. He also wrote many poems, verses such as these poems. Basically, what he wrote, it was the verse of the divine grace by the name of Varutpa. They were collected and published by Thozuvur Velayuda Mudaliyar, who was a Tamil Pandit in Presidency College of Madras. Alright, moving on. This is a practice question for you. You can answer it in the comment segment, and in the next class, I will announce your names. With reference to the tiger reserves, consider the following statements. Tiger reserves are notified by the central government. The tiger reserves are notified as per the provisions of the Section 38V of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and the National Tiger Conservation Authority recommends the proposal to the central government. So what do we have to see? How many of the statements given above is or are correct? You have to tell me in the comment segment. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly, so that you can answer this one as well. Okay, give me a few moments. Option C was correct. Simran has answered it correctly. Ria, thank you. Abul. Vinayak has answered it correctly. Swati, Manish, thank you. Shubham, Pramila, exotic writer. Prabhat, thank you. Prabhat. Shantanu, Kushal, Preeti, Mallinath, Abir, Chiranjit, Nityanand, Omkar, Abhishek, Sanjay, Ankit, and Tej. Thank you, Tej. So answer this question as well. Thank you so much for watching.